Shalom, this is Mary Omni from the World Government House of King David, Holy Covenant Constitutional Enforcer. I'm the woman of Galatians 4:4 and the woman of Revelations 12. Please refer to your Bible. And all I ask you to do is consider that I am who I say I am. I'm the mother of the New Jerusalem, and I'm the mother that gave birth to newborn King Emmanuel, February the 15th, 2011. This is a Republic Notice. The title of this Republic Notice is called Black Esau'S Descent into Hell. Now, there's a saying that goes, God is no respecter of persons. We see among us many people who have always fought against the power of God and the power of God's people. And we wanted to always kind of look outside ourselves, and we always wanted to just talk about this external enemy, which we all know we have. We've known we have an external enemy. That external enemy is obvious to us. What is not obvious to us is that internal enemy. And we'll be in denial until that internal enemy actually begins to show his face full throttle. And this is where Black Esau comes in. He's internal enemy, and we're at the end times, and now he's showing his face full throttle. Because you wouldn't understand it unless he did. I mean, black women actually followed black men into captivity. I mean, so she has to have a lot in her face before she see this internal enemy for who he is. And we have had internal enemies for a long time, but we're too much in denial. We thought it was happenstance that a lot of us are 60 and 70% alone raising children. We thought that was some kind of fluke. You know, even though we are married by constitutionality, and even though there are plenty black men who are real God-serving men with their women and children, too many black women are left alone. And these black men brag about a lot of black women being alone. They seem as though they think they got one up on her. So we kind of like talk about white Esau a lot. We always saying Esau, 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 and we always thinking of this pink Esau. But Esau was a spirit even before he came into the flesh. As with any being, they always a spirit first. So, and that Esau spirit can be in a black man, and it can be in a Chinese man, and it can be in an Indian man, it can be in many men. Now, we wanted to kind of just think that it was just, bad luck that a lot of black women were left alone. But now it's in your face. You see Esau, you see this black Esau, because we're in the end times and he's revealing himself. See, this is the time of revelations. This is the time of revelations. Be happy because he's revealing who he is. As we see these demons pour out of his mouth and see him doing conniptions of hate against his rib. He's like a black Neanderthal. He hits his head against the wall. And let me tell you why. Because all he do is use religion, like calling themselves Hebrew Israelites. We know these Hebrew Israelite sects, and they'll talk about what tribe they from. But see, they don't know the root word of tribe is rib. Tribe is spelled T-R-I-B-E. Rib is R-I-B. That's the root. That's the majority of the word tribe. It's right in the middle. Is the root of tribe. So he is declaring war on his rib, which means he declaring war on his tribe, because you can't have a tribe without a rib. Thereby, he's non-consenting himself as being part of any Israelite tribe or rib. And that's why he's a black Esau, because he has contempt for his birthrights, and he do not like the fact that God had chose a rib for him. He had the most high thing, and he given him the best thing on earth. But since he's such a black Esau, he cannot appreciate his birthrights. Since he don't want to acknowledge that he's from a matriarchal nation. And I don't know why these men don't want to acknowledge they're from a matriarchal nation. The majority of them was raised by women anyway. The women is the mainstay of the Judah nation. Even in the Bible, James 1:27 say the real religion is catering to the widows and the children and staying out of the world. But they make fun of the children and the widows. And the reason the Most High know they will be children and widows is because they're God's people and they always warred against. So some of the women being alone would be a natural occurrence from war and being warred against. But then we have this unnatural occurrence, which is the black Esau despising his birthrights. He despised his birthrights. He have super contempt for his rib. He's a black Neanderthal of low frequency, and he's just like a caveman. He hits his head against the wall, always talking about a tribe while fighting his rib. He's warring against the tribe if you're warring against the rib, because you can't have no tribe without the rib. And see, that's the stupidity of black Esau. He might as well not have a pineal gland because it's rotten and gangrened. He got a gangrene pineal gland because he's being identified as the man with the cosmic flaw that caused us to fall at the beginning. You getting ready to be revealed, these souls that caused us to fall. Oh yeah, they resurrected and reincarnated for you to see it. You're going to see this 666 beast in black skin, black Esau. You're going to see him do conniptions because it's coming near the end, and he getting ready to reveal himself full throttle. He is revealing himself full throttle. He is revealing himself full throttle. He's looking like a fool to the world. That's why any taxi cab driver come here from a foreign country, they look at the black man with contempt because of black Esau. He puts the karma all on all black men. They're looked at as contempt. And a lot of these Hebrew Israelites who are black Esau's trying to put this religion on top of their hating their rib, which means that they're denying their tribe. See, because yeah, they've been programmed about the man seed, 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 the man seed. But this is the case. Israel is a nation, and it's a female nation. See, you couldn't have a nation without the rib of Leah and Rachel. That was the rib of Jacob, okay? So, the rib had to be in there for you to have the tribe, okay? So it had to complement each other. Not that one is higher than the other. It's just that you can't have one without the other. And these silly black Esau men want to run around showing at the display of their conniptions now, that devil and them Dracons twisting all out the side of their neck and all this dung coming out of their mouth, all this hate energy, all this display of contempt for their mother's kind, all this display of contempt for what God chose for them, all this display of contempt of hate energy towards his tribe, all this display of ungratefulness, all this display of marginalization of the black woman that he wars against with Babylon, all this display of him telling Babylon women that they better than this black woman, all this display of him thinking he can replace the Judah woman, the woman that Christ comes through. He has the same mentality as these white folks in these apostate churches, always talking about they can replace Israel with their white and Catholic churches, and always talking about they can replace the Judah woman with some fictitious stringy haired white woman or any other stringy haired woman that don't have no identity to the woman that gave birth to King Emmanuel. Okay? See, they in the fantasy world just like all heathens. And this is that internal enemy, that flaw, that cosmic flaw that Malcolm X said, now, before you pat yourself on the back and tell about the royalty of your history of you being the gods and the Judah and the Hebrew Israelites and the namesake, you better ask yourself what made you go from that to then coming under cavemen who crawled on fours. But see, nobody don't want to ask that question and then answer it with any kind of authority of real intellect. But it's really a simple answer. A 666 beast is black Esau. See, in the beginning of Genesis, God made man, he and she, which was an androgynous being of complementary, okay? Androgynous being. In other words, they was one flesh, he and she, and that was the image of God. A black man by himself hating his rib can be nothing other than a 666 beast. So that's Revelations 13:18. The number of the beast, 666, is the number of a man. It's not talking about one specific man. It says man in general is a beast, because the image of God is a complementary woman of one flesh. When him and the woman becomes one flesh, then you're talking about the male and female polarity in full balance. In full balance. That's the image of God. So you seeing this imbalanced, this Esau that haven't had balance in years, and he's raging like a beast out of a cave. And this is his descent into hell. He's displaying his beasthood on steroids in front of the world. And I want you to watch him, black woman, as you see him, because he's descending into hell. He's showing his low frequency. With all his hate energy, he's a poster boy for the bell curve, okay? Which showing he's not an intelligent man. He's more so like a beast man, like a Neanderthal. So a Neanderthal can't think with any kind of clarity. Yeah, they can spew out hate. Any beast can spew out hate. That don't take intelligence. And if he got that much hate, where he's so willing to show it to the world how much he hate himself, like the poster boy of Satan anal thumping from the left side and the right side, and then the phallus, Satan phallus in his mouth, and he's swallowing the cum and breeding Dracons, and then doing connections as a black Esau in front of the world. You be glad he's revealing himself. See, we're seeing the cosmic flaw of our fall, because he didn't want to respect that he was supposed to be a balanced man with a female at the beginning. He thought he could go in his own glory. He thought he could go in his own ego. And he thought his ego was everything, even though it's nothing but dense matter. He thought he can be anti his own soul and make it. And you even have white men writing books like Joel Freeman, which I think his intentions are good, but he talking about the glory, and he talking about the glory of the black man, because he consulted with a black man. And see, that way they leaving the woman out. And Dr. Henry Clark already told you, you can't do nothing without that woman. So I don't know why they even going through all that. And see, that's Joel Freeman talking to this black man and still thinking that he wasn't born from a woman, thinking that he can be anything other than a beast when he's not with that woman. Okay? See, you cannot separate it, because only when you separate it, all he is a beast. Okay? Because the Most High made them one. And him fighting his own soul is his beasthood fighting himself and fighting himself from ever becoming a God. So you seeing him fighting himself and going to war against himself and telling himself he was never worthy of the kingdom. He was the flaw of the kingdom. He was the downfall of the kingdom. He was the cosmic tragedy of the kingdom. He was the poster boy for the bell curve. He caused the suffering of black people. And now his descent into hell is revealing himself, because this is his last go around. You will never have to deal with this 666 black Esau beast again. So let him spew all that Satan semen out of his neck and all that dung out of his mouth. Let him show himself as a black caveman with a gangrene pineal gland. Let him go ahead and make a fool of himself, because it's being recorded for all history. Let him go ahead and think he can replace the Judah woman as he become Malachi cutoff, so we don't have to deal with this low frequency freak on steroids.
This is Mary Omni from the House of King David. Shalom.